Every airport runs on precision. Every badge, shift, and corridor is tracked, logged, and recorded. No one moves unseen. No one works without leaving a trace, except one man. At a major international airport, an internal audit of security personnel records begins as part of routine compliance check. Auditor Martins and analyst Layla review legacy staff assigned to Terminal B security operations. Everything appears normal until one name appears repeatedly across operational logs. Daniel Okoye. The system shows continuous employment for 7 years, but when HR databases are searched, no record exists. No onboarding file, no contract, no identity registration, no badge photo, and no fingerprint enrollment. Yet payroll confirms consistent salary payments. Access control logs confirm daily entries into restricted zones, including Terminal B corridors and secure control-adjacent areas. One system confirms payment. Another confirms physical presence. But HR insists he never existed. Layla escalates the search into archived identity systems and badge records. Every query returns empty. When surveillance archives are requested, the system fails, citing missing data segments. Martins closes a file and asks the central question. If he worked here every day, why does every system disagree about whether he ever existed? Within 48 hours, a formal investigation begins under Airport Security Director Kamal. Technicians retrieve CCTV, access logs, and shift records. Footage confirms Daniel in uniform, scanning badges, patrolling corridors, and responding to incidents. Supervisors immediately recognize him, describing him as quiet, consistent, and reliable. Adebayo, a senior supervisor, confirms working with him for years on night shifts. Cleaning staff also recall him assisting during system outages. However, HR remains firm. No employee record exists. CCTV analysis reveals anomalies. Daniel appears in restricted zones without clearance assigned to him. More concerning, access logs show his credentials were manually overridden more than 60 times across different periods. These overrides clustered during system outages, migrations, and maintenance windows, suggesting continuous manual intervention to maintain his operational presence. A full forensic investigation begins involving cybersecurity experts, HR auditors, and aviation oversight teams. They reconstruct years of system activity. A pattern emerges. Daniel appears most frequently during database migrations, infrastructure upgrades, and audit transitions. These are moments when systems are unstable and identity records are actively being reconciled. Investigators uncover that the airport underwent multiple legacy system overhauls during this period. HR, payroll, and access control systems were migrated separately rather than as a unified structure. This led to inconsistent identity synchronization across platforms. During transitions, temporary security placeholders were used to preserve operational continuity when staff data could not be fully reconciled. A retired IT administrator confirms these placeholders were never meant to remain active. They were supposed to be deleted after migration completion. However, due to repeated system updates, some entries were carried forward and interpreted as valid employees. In Daniel's case, investigators believe a placeholder entry persisted and was repeatedly reactivated across systems, despite never being formally created as a real employee. A deleted master database segment is eventually recovered from archive backups. It contains fragmented traces of Daniel's identity, but nothing complete enough to form a unified record. Cybersecurity analysts conclude the identity never fully existed in a single system. Instead, it formed gradually across multiple disconnected systems that never properly synchronized. The investigation shows payroll treated him as active due to continuous payment entries. Access systems treated him as valid due to repeated manual overrides. HR systems rejected him entirely due to missing onboarding records. Each system reinforced or erased different parts of his identity independently, creating a fractured digital existence. Several theories emerge. One suggests cascading failure during multiple legacy migrations that fragmented identity data beyond repair. Another suggests long-term administrative oversight, in which a temporary placeholder was never fully removed. A third suggests a structural flaw in system architecture that allowed unresolved temporary entries to stabilize as active records. A final theory acknowledges that corruption or missing archives prevent full reconstruction of events. When investigators search for a termination record, none exists. There is no resignation, no dismissal, and no official hiring entry. Yet payroll confirmations, access logs, surveillance footage, and multiple eyewitness testimonies all agree that Daniel Okoye worked at the airport for years. In the final review, Kamau summarizes the findings. Every system contains a different version of the truth. Some confirm his existence, others deny it, and others preserve only fragments that contradict each other. Layla notes that no unified identity can be reconstructed across the systems. The investigation ends with a single unresolved fact. Every employee is supposed to leave a consistent digital footprint across institutional systems. But in this case, investigators found a man who worked every shift, passed every checkpoint, interacted with colleagues, and received payment consistently without ever producing a single unified record confirming his existence across all systems at once.